Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Finay. Today we're gonna be starting with a new video, and this video is most likely related to our previous video, which was a website. And last time we built this website. So what we're gonna do this time around, um, instead of having home, about, services in one page, which is like this one pager, we're gonna have it built this way. We're gonna have the home page, then we're gonna be able to go to the about section, to the services, and then to go to contact section. Obviously, you can definitely rearrange. This is like a perfect example of what we're gonna do here today. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. As you guys remember, like last time we had index.html and style.css in one file. Um, So right here we have like about, services, contact us, right? All of which are currently in this index.html. What we're trying to do is that we're trying to have multiple files here. Okay, so what kind of files we're looking for? We're looking for the exact thing that we're requesting. Okay, so we need about section, we need the services, and we need the contact us. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a section called about us, about, all right, the HTML. Okay, we will switch everything else, and then we're just gonna keep it empty. And then which one do we want? We're looking for services, right? So we're gonna create services that what that HTML, because that's going to be another page, all right? And then we're gonna continue here. We're gonna add a new file for contact that HTML, all right? And then we're gonna stop right here, okay? So going back, we still have our HTML. The code should still be running with no problem. But right now, we're just making sure everything is running smoothly, okay? Okay, so over here in our index.html, what we're going to do is that we're going to delete a few things here, okay? We're just still going to make sure everything is good. Always though confirm that when you're calling a file, it is the correct file and the correct name that you're using. Okay, so over here, you're going to see it say style.css, okay? I'm also going to change it because it's not going to be a one pager anymore. We're going to call that my site, okay? Instead, and then we're going to say home, right? So that's like the site's home, okay? And then from there, in the body, we're gonna remove this navigation here, um, with the head body, okay? So from there, we're gonna remove this section here, okay? And then instead of calling it with like this with the number sign, we're gonna put about that HTML or index.html, right? So that's what we're gonna do. I'll show you. So I'm gonna remove this section. Still gonna keep my logo, my site. We're still gonna keep that, okay? But here, instead of this, we're gonna put. Let's do it. We're gonna create a class for it, okay? And then let's call the class. Let's say call the class active, right? We're gonna put active, okay? Active for the class, and then boom here. Over here, because now we're using the home is the index.html file. Very important because now the home is what index.html file. We're just gonna change that to index.html. Okay, index. All right, that HTML. And what I'm saying to this code is like, hey, remember like the home is this file. Okay, when somebody press it, it's gonna go on this file section here. And we're gonna do the same for the other ones. Instead of having it, here, we're gonna remove that. We're gonna say about, right, that HTML, and most likely like it will show you here, and we're just gonna confirm it, and we're gonna do the same for services, and we're just gonna keep doing the same for all the pages that we have in file. Okay, all right, services, and you're gonna see it showing here. I don't have to type it, and we're gonna do contact. Okay, right now that's just connecting those pages to this. All right. Okay. That HTML. Oh, one thing that's very important, right? When you clicked on this, like if I were to like open this code and go back on it, if I was to run it, these pages will not show. Okay, because when I go and I press the button, it will not show. Very important. Now that's done. We can still keep like everything else, but we'll have to remove these sections here. Okay, I might keep the footer. Okay, very important. I'm still gonna keep the footer. Okay, And yeah, everything else you can copy and paste it in the other files. Okay, that's your prerogative. So we're gonna remove. We're gonna keep the hero section. All right. Instead of putting one file, we're gonna put one page. Your modern HTML CSS. Multiple pages this time. All right. Multiple pages layout. Okay. Let's put multiple pages. Multiple page. Multi-page. How about that? Multi-page. All right. No need for comments. Everything else here is gonna be removed. Okay. And let's say, uh, okay. Should definitely keep like the about section though. Maybe connect it. Okay. Okay. Remove that, and then we're gonna remove the contact. Okay. Boom. From the hero section, right? You see here, before I connected the button to like the wrong file, and that file doesn't exist anymore. That part of the code doesn't exist anymore. So we're just gonna put this as about, same way we did before, right? We're gonna call it. We're gonna call the file about the HTML, and then that's it. Okay. That part right here, right now, this home screen has probably been connected, and don't always remember to save the page. So right now I've done the changes, and now it's been saved. Okay. So the hero section is probably in place here. All right. And you already know if I put footer, now you're a coder, you don't have to keep getting the same comments. It's not necessary. Okay. Now we're gonna go back on the about section, and also remember to save this. We're gonna go on about. Okay. See the about the HTML. Remember, we're gonna do the same thing that we did for index HTML, which is gonna be this. Okay. Same section, same element. Very important. But instead of having my site here, we can just copy and paste it. Okay. Let's copy and paste this real quick. Most of coding is is copy and pasting. All right, so here instead of having like my home, right, my site, right, home, we're gonna do about, right, and we're gonna do about, right, and then that's it. Okay, we still gonna keep this section because what this does is like it connects it back to the home, right? But instead of having the class, we're gonna remove the class. Okay, from here and we're still gonna keep it. So that call will also be happening. All right, boom. All right, index. So right now this is sending the user back to the index. Okay, but here instead of having, now we're gonna put the class for here. Okay, now because now it's become the active. Okay, so now about has become active. Okay, so we're gonna equal that. We're gonna equal it to active. Right. Very important because we're going to be using that for our style.css. Okay. And you see that's just copy and pasting. Very quick. No problem, right? Now we're just going to add the section that you had before in your code. So having this section for the home. Okay. I hope I'm making the calls correctly here. We're going to create a section and let me just maybe put section page. Do this like this, put this section here, and then within section, okay, we're gonna still have h1, okay, remember that, and within there, we're gonna say about me, right, about me, right, and also I don't think I need that space, let's say here, and there it goes. We're gonna say this is multiple page website, bit per HTML. Okay. It's like anything. You can definitely type anything here. Okay, just type whatever you want and keep it for the about section, right? And then also keep the footer because the footer is part of the HTML. And we're gonna repeat the same cycle for all the other pages, and we're just gonna input the code. We're just gonna put our code. Okay, just copy and paste it at this point. Okay, like fairly easy. Now we're gonna go on our services.html. And one more thing, very important, names, very important, because you're making calls. Okay, if you're calling someone and you call them by the wrong name, it's the same thing with the computer. You have to make the calls correctly, and the names have to be pronounced like correctly for the computer to understand. Okay. Um, so we're gonna say services. Always remember to save. I'm gonna save the about, and we're gonna go on services. So services section, same thing. Copy and pasting from the previous file. Very similar, right? And you're gonna see a lot of similarities. So instead of having where same thing, and instead of here, I'll put my services. Style sheet, same calls, right? Only difference is like I'll put the class here because now we're in the new page, right? And then yeah, that's it. See this section, same thing. That page is done, right? You just copy and paste it from the previous code that I gave you, and just put it right there, okay? For the section, for the page section, okay? Make sense? Now we're gonna continue, and now this time around we're gonna go back to our contact that HTML, okay? And we're also gonna do the same thing here, same thing, and then we're gonna have it this way. Honestly, for contact that HTML, let's make it fun. Maybe let's do like an input for the user, right? And then that will send it to the person. Um, yeah, we can definitely do like an input for the user, like names or something like that. We can put like the names, preferred title or something, and then we can do that. Okay, we're definitely gonna have to add that. That will make it better. Okay, so how about this? We're gonna create a form. Okay, and let's do that. Okay, so that the person can put either like a text section. We're gonna call that text section name. Okay, we're gonna put like a placeholder and everything. So here we're gonna put a form. Okay, form is structured. Okay, it's very structured. We're gonna put form, right? And then we're gonna put a class for the form. And this here we're gonna put contact, right? We're gonna put contact.html, and then we're gonna put contact form contact dash form, just to call the class. Okay, and then we're gonna close this. Boom. Oh no. And we're gonna close this right here. Contact form. No problem here, no English error. And then we're gonna put an input. All right, input type. From here, we're gonna put an input type. What is the input gonna be? A text, because the person is texting, is a text element. Okay. Here, we're gonna say type equal to text. Okay. All right. And placeholder. The placeholder we're gonna put, because the text we're gonna put your name, right? Because you need the person's name for your website. All right, your name, and this is gonna be very important. All right, these are some of the things that you can do as you get better, and we're gonna make that a requirement, right? And this is not even using JavaScript. Right? It's just like pure for the requirement, and we're gonna make it so that it's required. Okay, it's like you have to put that element. You have to put an input in the placeholder. Okay, and then here also we're gonna put an input, and this time around we're gonna put an email type. Okay, and we're just gonna copy and paste this real quick. All right, so you don't have to type every single time. Okay, and then we're gonna copy and paste, change to email. All right, you see what I'm saying? Send us the email, and then instead of putting your name, we're gonna put your email. All right, don't have to do every single time. Okay, and then you're gonna send 928. Make sure it's required by the user. Okay. Now we're gonna add another part. This is gonna be like a text area. Okay, this text area is like where the person is gonna add the message. So instead of putting it as an input necessarily, we're gonna put it as a text area. Okay. Text. Yeah. You see that? Text area, because the person can actually type I like the way that you're doing. So this is the part that's like very important in the form. And then we're gonna call it a placeholder. F my computer. Okay, so here we're gonna put a placeholder. Okay, and then we're gonna equal that placeholder to your message, right? Because that's important. And your message. Okay. We're also gonna make it a requirement. All right, required input. Because you can't send it without, you can't just like send a message without having anything in there. So we're gonna put it as a requirement. Okay. Maybe add a button. All right, a button type. button. I'll keep it here. Right? We're gonna put the button type here. All right, we're gonna put buttons. Button. Okay. And we're gonna equal to type. We're gonna put the type to submit. Okay. Type equals to submit. All right. And type here. Skip the section here. Actually, I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, boom. And then we're gonna say send a message. All right. Is this working? Yes. Problem here. So for this email section, right, I'm gonna make it a bit more like, more like, hey, this is just a form to show you guys, but and then you can send an email, okay? And then we're gonna call it button, all right? Email that button, all right? So we added a form, but we're also gonna add like an email button here, okay? I'm gonna say send email instead, all right? And then boom. Okay. And I put in space. Calls are correct. Everything looks good. Now we're gonna go into style.css, and there's not many changes that we need to apply for the style.css. To be honest with you. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. So for the style.css, I'll be providing like most of this code on my repository on GitHub. But this is like the new place area here for the new update section, the contact form that section. So you're gonna make sure like you put a little space in there. But most of this code is like something that you can definitely find out. I'll put it on on my GitHub, and you guys can go check it out. Okay, but it's the old style of CSS with tiny bit of improvements and making sure everything's running smoothly. That's it. Like tiny bit of improvements. That's it. Okay. Control save that. Let me see how did I call it here? I call it style of CSS. No. Okay. Okay. It's very important because I have to make sure I call it correctly in each file. Alright, so here I also want to make sure you call it correctly. Sometimes you go with S. I also want to make sure I'm doing that here. Okay. Everything's running smoothly. So we're gonna open with live server, and then we're gonna go check it out. I'm gonna see how we're looking. There it goes. So here, normally what we had before was like, a full-on website like this, right? Where everything is included here. But this time around, and I switch it up, right? Now this time around, everything has changed, right? So we're gonna go explore services, and you're gonna see services. I'm gonna go to the about me section, and this is like something you will have to learn when it comes to any website. Now over here, you're gonna see there's like a section here for your info, right? And you can add whatever details you want from there and keep it going. Okay. Stop right there. Let's see. Yeah. Is there anything else I'm missing? Yeah, it looks pretty good. You can send a message, and then everything should go to the email. And then what else am I missing here? I think that's it. The design looks pretty good. Everything else will be posted on the GitHub. If you want to go check it out, go check it out. You'll see like the style CSS file full on service. And that's it for the video. Thanks so much for watching. As I said before, like if you've learned something new, don't forget to like and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Get the like and subscribe. Okay. So I will keep you guys posted, and let's continue going.